Hello everyone, this is Sheetal Sharma, Assistant Professor in the Department of Humanities, the Bhopal School of Social Sciences. So welcome to the part 3 of Kautilya's Political Thought. So this is the content we have already discussed in paper 1, in part 1 and part 2. Till here the Saptanga Theory. Now we will be discussing the Council of Ministers, Justice and Penal System, the Sixfold Policy of Kautilya. So let's start with the Council of Ministers. Council of Ministers, also known as Mantriparishad. Now, Kautilya has said one very important thing about Council of Ministers in his magnanimous work, that is Arthashastra. A single wheel can never run, and hence king should employ ministers, which means that as the chariot cannot be run by a single wheel and it requires the support of all the four wheels, similarly, a king cannot run the entire empire alone. It requires the support of ministers, that is Mantriparishad. Now, let's understand. Talking about the same, Kautilya has mentioned about Council of Ministers in his book 1 of Arthashastra, that is Adhikaran. Specifically, he has talked about statecraft in this part of Arthashastra, where he has discussed the ministerial selection, qualities and council functioning, like how the ministers will be selected, what will be the functions of the Council of Ministers and also the qualities of the ministers. Now, Kautilya does not talk about the quantity of the ministers, rather he talks about the quality of the ministers. Now, let's understand the composition and roles of the Council of Ministers. So first of all, he talks about 3 to 4 core ministries or ministers, that is, first one is Amartya, the civil service implementer. He or she implements the policies which civil servants make. Second is the Purohit, also known as royal priest. Now, the work of the Purohit is to advise the king on the matters of dharma. Then third is Senapati, the commander-in-chief who commands the military and army. Now, fourth is the Yuvraj, that is the crown prince who is in the training period. Now, talking about these Council of Ministers, Kautilya suggests about the loyalty test of these ministers. According to Kautilya, the confidentiality of things is of paramount importance. So that's why it is required to test the loyalty of the Council of Ministers. So the 4 tests has been provided by Kautilya, which are known as 4 upadhas. The first is the Dharmopadha, second is the Arthopadha, third is Kamopadha and fourth is Bhayopadha. Now, when we talk about Dharmopadha, what Kautilya exactly says about it? Kautilya says that king should test ministers through spy, whereby spies would be sent to the ministers who are dismissed by the king for trivial reasons. Now, the spy would be instigating the minister to go against the king and revolt against the king. If the minister does so, which means that if minister goes against the king, it means he fails. Or if minister doesn't go against the king, it means the minister passes the test. In Arthopada, the king gives the minister a task which is having a large amount of money including in that task. Now, a spy is sent by the king to the minister who persuades the minister to use that money for some other purposes or do embezzlement with that money. Now, if the minister does fraud with the king, it means the minister fails the test, otherwise passes. Now, third is the Kamopadha, where a woman from harem is sent to the minister to have some illicit affair with that minister. If minister does so, he fails, otherwise he didn't. Now, last is the Bhayopada, where a fear of punishment is created. So, a spy is sent to the minister which says to the minister that the king is going to punish you for some reason because king is in anger. Now, to get rid of that punishment, the minister is asked by the spy to go against the king and revolt. If minister rejected the idea, then the minister is passed, otherwise it failed. So all of these tests test the loyalty of the minister. Now, As per these tests, if minister passes, then the highest of the post is given to that minister. Otherwise, the lowest post are given, or sometimes the minister is dismissed. Now let's understand the role and functions of Council of Ministers. So first of all, the minister is there to advise the king on the matters of Yogakshema. Yogakshema, which have been dealt by me in part 2, where I have talked about the Saptanga Theory. Now, Yogakshema refers to the welfare state. So all the policies of welfare state are advised by the minister to the king. What acquisition, preservation of wealth the state has to do. Second is, Kautilya emphasizes about collective deliberations. Kautilya says that a single wheel cannot move a cart. So, the king must consult the ministries or a council of ministers. Third, the final authority of the decisions rests with the king, but the advisory is provided by the council. So, council is having just the advisory nature, sovereignty still remains with the king. Now, Kautilya recommends the Mantriparishad should meet regularly and it should have secret meetings, because it says that the state policy must never be leaked, because leaked policy is a failed policy according to Kautilya. Now, division of labor has also been provided by Kautilya in Arthashastra, where Kautilya talks about 18 tirthas, which means departments and ministries, and each ministry is headed by the Amatya. Example, treasury, army, law, agriculture, etc. So, Council of Minister is a very detailed discussion that is done by Kautilya in Arthashastra. Now, let's understand the another most important topic or most important concept given by Kautilya, that is justice and penal system, which is also referred as Danda Niti. Now, Kautilya's legal system is the most detailed legal system in the ancient political thought of India, where book 3, that is Dharmasthya, and book 4, that is Kantak Sodhana, these two books talks about the civil and criminal laws respectively. Now, concept of Danda and Danda Niti. So, understand what is the meaning of Danda. Dand here means coercive authority and punishment, which means that to govern the state or to govern the empire, we require punishment. That is the most important part of it according to Kautilya. Kautilya says that in the happiness of his subjects lies the king's happiness, which means just punishment ensures social order. If people are not afraid of punishment for doing crime, then the society will not remain in law and order and the society will not be harmonious. So, Dand is one of the 4 methods of statecraft. Kautilya talks about 4 methods of statecraft, that is Sam, Dan, Dand, Bhed, and one of them is Dand, which is very much important. Now, excessive Dand is equals to tyranny and little Dand is equals to lawlessness, which means king must be acting judiciously when it comes to talk about punishments. So, Kautilya says that both the extremes are bad, which means the justice should be served when punishment is given in the proportion of the crime. So, if punishment is too harsh, then it will create situation of tyranny, and if the punishment is too light, then it creates the feeling of lawlessness. So, that's why the justice is served when the punishment is in proportion of the crime committed by the person. Now, let's understand the 2 courts of justice which Kautilya talks about. First is Dharmasthya, that is the civil court, and another is Kantak Sodhana, that is criminal court. So, in Dharmasthya, where the disputes related to marriage, inheritance, property, contracts, debt, etc. is dealt by the Dharmasth judges. And in criminal court, which deals with the offences like theft, assault, fraud, treason, corruption by officials, these all issues are dealt. Now, Kantak Sodhana is also referred as thorn removing court, which means a court where thorns from the society are removed. Now, both the courts have 3 judges. Judges are also known as Dharmasthas, and these 3 judges operate under a royal authority. that is king. Now Kautilya has also talked about classification of punishment in Arthashastra in a very detailed manner. So let's understand that. First one is the Vad, that is the death penalty. Now Kautilya has said that treason, murder, crimes against the state requires to be given death penalty. So if somebody is doing these crimes, then death penalty will be given to that person. Next is Angaksheda, that is also known as mutilation. So which means cutting off limbs. This was provided for some specific offences that have been mentioned in Arthashastra. Third is Arthadanda, that is monetary fine. So most commonly prescribed punishment is Arthadanda, where Kautilya provide a detailed fine tables like for which punishment how much fine would be taken by the king. Then imprisonment. So there are various offences for which Kautilya says that prison punishment should be given to the people. Now punishment was graded according to the Varna and gender, which means Brahmins were generally exempted from death penalty and mostly they were given the fine and exile related punishments. And women, when it comes to talk about women, the punishment was used to be reduced. In many examples it has been seen. Now there were two things most important about Kautilya's justice system, punishment system, that is the punishment used to aggravate and mitigate for some factors. Like there were some factors which can aggravate, means increase the punishment, and there are certain factors which can mitigate or decrease the punishment. Now what are they? So intent of the crime. The Kautilya has mentioned that the intent of the crime should also be known, so that if the intent was not too severe and the person was not planning to do something for their own specific reasons, then the punishment can be reduced. Secondly, the repetition. If the person is doing the crime for the first time, then punishment can be mitigated. But if there is a repetition and person is doing the crime again and again and again, then punishment can be aggravated. Third is social position of the offender. If the offender belongs to certain position in the society, then their punishments used to be increased and decreased according to that position. So Council of Ministers and Justice and Penalty System we have discussed of Kautilya, and both of these topics are very important and very relevant with the competitive examinations that are conducted. So understanding these two concepts helps a lot in understanding the penalty system, punishment system, which is very much justified by the Kautilya. And the way he has mentioned about justice system and penalty system, these both can be taken up by the current governments, and we can take instances from the Kautilya's Arthashastra to understand the penalty and justice system, and it can also be applied in the current scenario. Thank you so much. We will discuss the most important topic of Kautilya in the next part. Thank you.